make a pro tip video on speed lights. A lot of people don't understand speed lights. Let's make it really simple. About 85% of speed light prices, like people are like, I'm going to get an SB 700, SB 5000. 85-90% of what you're paying for is the convenience of being able to shoot action event and urban street, like wedding events for TTL. A lot of people desperately, in their own minds, however incorrectly, think that they need TTL photography, and in most cases you don't. In a lot of cases you do, but what you're paying for on any expensive speed light is the TTL capability. It is extremely unfortunate that all the freaking speed lights have moved to China. The hardcore Japanese speed light, I mean, this is why 15-year-old Nikon speed lights are far more reliable than a young Nuo that was made yesterday. It's like, oh, what should you rather buy? Like a brand new speed light made in China, or like a 15-year-old beat and scratched up Nikon speed light made in Japan? Well, knowing what I know, which is a lot on speed lights, a lot, the answer is the old Nikon speed light. That's just for manual use and automatic. A lot of people need to understand, the various modes of speed light use. Obviously, for high-speed sync, very important, you have to buy the expensive speed light. Really, the only thing you're paying for is 95 to 85% premium over a conventional speed light, which you can use in manual and automatic mode. Automatic mode means there's a little sensor in the front that actually detects the amount of reflectance at a set value, and it sends a cut signal to the speed light to cut off the light for correct exposure. Oftentimes that actually works better than TTL through the lens flash metering of your speed light. You're talking about event photography, photojournalism, wedding event, anything that's fast moving where you don't get the time to get either the second shot or to quickly calculate in your head. After a while, I mean, if I could teach someone how to be really damn fast, just give them, 1 256, 1 64th, 1/8, 1/4, 1/2, and full blast, to just look at a scene. If you actually have a set value, say ISO 400 at f4, which covers most things, gives you shallow enough depth of field for subject isolation, that someone can, within a day's training, go, oh, this person is about 8 or 10 feet away. I'm going to immediately dial in to a 1/32 power, and boom, you'll nail it. You'll not worry about specular blowout. TTL also, of course, like matrix metering, if you have too much reflectance, I mean, the flash will quench if, like, you're trying to shoot somebody standing in front of us, not behind, standing in front of a white wall or something with high reflectance, a mirrored surface or a partial mirrored surface that's reflecting too much to cause a TTL quench of the speed light, and therefore underexposing your subject and not giving you true subject isolation. So TTL, just like matrix metering, is far from foolproof, and people really should spend a day failing, just walking around your house, going outside. I mean, there's no difference between shooting a bush and shooting a person. I mean, you don't have to have somebody lined up. I mean, just pick something, a mailbox. Go off various distances. Have a set parameter. Say ISO for. Typically, I say ISO. It depends on how good the ISO or SNR on your camera is. Say ISO 400 to 800 at f4, f5.6. You will be able to very quickly judge what the power output of your speed light needs to be. You don't need freaking TTL. This, however, is not fast enough, even once you have the skills, like I said, for weddings, wedding events, sports journalism, any sort of thing like event photography where you have to. I actually shoot in manual mode, like for really fast stuff. I shoot in manual mode, all manual on the camera, and have the speed light set to a TTL, typically with 1/3 or 2/3 of a stop flash comp, depending on what my background reflectance is. Believe it or not, I'm actually really good at event photography. I'm also going to say egotistically that I think I'm one of the best damn event photographers that I've ever run across, because I can work it. If you see me in action, I do a really good job. Even having people come up to me at events like, damn, you're fast and good. I was like, I know. I'm not disappointed in anybody that pays for me to do a shoot. I'm not disappointed, and I do not disappoint. Anyway, the point of this video obviously is about speedlights. Just realize what it is you're paying for. If you don't need it, like you don't need TTL for freaking macro, you absolutely don't want TTL for macro photography. Do you need to be buying TTL speedlight? Do you? It's incredibly useful for high-speed sync. I mean, there's no way to do, pulse light control. Well, you could, but it's incredibly complicated. But essentially impossible. No HSS pulse light photography, which is what you're spending the money on that high-priced speedlight for. I'm really actually sad that Nikon has totally ditched their Japanese manufacturing speedlights, which ended with the SB910. That actually really pisses the crap out of me. The SB5000 is now made in China. It's more expensive. It's less reliable. It sucks. F you, Nikon. Did you hear me, Nikon? F you. Fuck you. For not making Japanese speedlights anymore. I absolutely really hate that. I mean, I can't recommend the SB5000 to anybody. It's like, what do you buy then? I get a used SB900 or 910. That really pisses me off. Pisses me. It's okay if they want to move it off to China, but don't charge, a higher price for, cheap frigging labor on Chinese speedlights. And they're not as good. They're not made as good. Well, sure, it's Nikon speedlight. No, they're not made as good. Reports are coming in everywhere about the speedlights being a little bit too much on the hardcore crap reliability factor, which Nikon never had an issue. Nikon always had the best speedlights. But just realize on what you're getting on your speedlights, and realize too the different type of speedlight metering values that you have. You manual, automatic, TTL, HSS. If you need those things, depending on what you want to do, it is oftentimes the case you're pissing money away on a TTL speedlight that you don't need. Some people absolutely do need it. You certainly need it for HSS, wedding events, anything that's moving, going on. Where you have to be firing it off. You can't sit there and go like 8 feet away, I'm going to dial in 1/32 power. Like 20 feet away, I'm going to dial in 1/4 power. 15 feet away, I'm going to dial in 1/16 power. 30 feet away, I'm going to dial in half power. It's not fast enough. So there is where you're paying that. And typically, whether it's Fujifilm or Nikon, you're basically paying $380 more just for, because a speedlight is a flash, a speedlight burst is a speedlight burst is a speedlight burst. You're paying literally basically $400 more on their premier speedlights. Well, let's say $350 if you average Fujifilm and Nikon and others here. You're averaging $350 more just for the privilege of being able to do a TTL event or fast moving and HSS. Because there's no difference between a manual flash, a speedlight burst, and a TTL flash burst, except for the timing that's actually controlled through the pinouts to the speedlight. So realize what the hell it is you're paying for, and don't piss your money away on speedlights unnecessarily. Thank God there's enough of those old Nikon speedlights out there that will be for sale basically forever. And piss on Nikon for not making speedlights in Japan anymore. That absolutely really pisses me off. It's been pissing me off for months and months now. Many, many months. That was always a hardcore pride factor of Nikon, and they don't have it anymore. Which is bullshit. Thank you so much for watching. Like this video and drop me a buck or two. You can tell me to jump off a cliff, whatever makes you happy. Whatever tickles your pickle, whatever wiggles your worm. Thank you so much for watching. Увидимся, до свидания, aloha, пока, hasta luego, and увидимся, as the Russians would say. Точно сказал человек. Точно сказал. Thank you. Bye. Bum, 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 bum.